Hello there, and welcome to this episode of A Tiny Dot in Space, where I explore the world, one province, one state, one territory, one county, one whatever you call the first level of subdivision of the various countries on planet Earth. And I explore these one by one. And, doing so on GeoGuessr, I have the opportunity to go and explore places I've never seen and probably will never go to. And I hope I'll have some fun while doing so. And my overall aim is to score 25,000 points in each game I play on GeoGuessr in each of these territories. And if I fail to do so, well, you might see that territory again in the series. And if I succeed in playing 25,000 points, well, that's the end of that territory. Today I will be making an exception from that rule, because what I'm going to play now, I will only play once. And that is because we're going to Tibet in China. We're going to China for the first time, and I've been debating whether to include China or not in this series, because there's there's no official coverage. It's all third party, tons of photospheres, and precious little continuous footage. And but even so, there's sort of vast amount of coverage in some places, so making these maps will take ages. But when the random number generator came up with Tibet, I was like, okay, let's have a look at that. And yeah, it turns out it's not all that many locations. They're all centered along these main roads in the south and on the capital of Lhasa here in the middle. And but yeah, these are all photospheres, and as I was plotting them in, I saw that a lot of them are woefully out of place compared to the place they are representing. And even some locations in Lhasa were actually, when I clicked them, they were actually pinned, and so they never registered on the map until I zoomed out and found out that they were located here in the Gulf of Guinea, which I guess is doing your GPS, so geo-coordinates, very, very, very wrongly. So this game, I will just have a look around. There will surely be some breathtaking locations. I might even play 2 games just for the heck of it, and I won't spend long looking for where these places are, because they probably won't be very locatable. But still, and that means that regardless of my score in this game, I'm going to consider this map over and done with once I'm done with it. So yeah, that said, let's head into Tibet and make a challenge. And I'll copy the link so you can have a go at playing this map. The link is found in the description for the video. So let's start the game. Okay, we are in a town, or a city even, and there's a fair chance that we are in Lhasa. There are a couple of other towns that has coverage, or rather that there are photospheres in. But let's, for the sake of it, so it could be like in here in Shigatse, and I think we could also be, there's a couple of other towns here, but let's just have a look at Shigatse. And of course, we don't know whether these locations are correct. Now, that's an interesting one, because there's a lake, and I do believe, isn't Lhasa on a lake? Well, not quite a lake, it's a river. And that makes me wonder if that's where we actually are, because that doesn't really fit the shape. So let's see now. So if we are in Shigatse, that doesn't work either. There's not all that many other larger places. So we're dealing with 3.7 million people in an area of 1.25 million square kilometers. Lhasa has, well, 568,000 people. So could we be here in Shannan? I don't know. That's probably not it either. Now we're starting to run out of locations. So we've got New Chi, which it isn't. And then there aren't all that many. Look at this area, but that, of course, I don't know whether that map we're looking at is oriented north-south either. Okay, so we're going to have a go at this. We're not going to spend a lot of time. So let's just say that we are in Lhasa and that we might be over here somewhere. Well, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't bad at all. Okay, next one. Woohoo. Right, if we get this one right. Some serious mountains. And tourist viewpoints, I guess. Northwest. Very, 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 very rivery valley. So like, let's see, can I find a valley with a proper wide river that goes in a northwesterly direction? We have some valleys over here, but I don't think those are it. Let's see, there were some valleys here that were covered, but now how about in this area? Don't see any islands, but there are roads on either side of the lake. And that's kind of what we're looking for. Southeast. Okay, so we're on the north side of the lake. Yeah, that could work quite well, actually. So let's see. So we must be towards the north end of the lake. So how about if this is the lake? Let's say that we are out there. No, not at all. Well, that's only to be expected. Okay, next one. Well, that's a tidy area. And, I'm gonna give it a chance or punt and say that we are in Lhasa again. Don't remember that there were that many locations in Lhasa, but let's say that we are somewhere around the Jokhang temple. Okay, not at all. So we're in the park. Okay, the Pojang. Yeah, but still. This has to be in Lhasa as well. Okay, let's so we got mountains to the east if this compass is anywhere near being correct. Well, this has to be very much downtown Lhasa if we are in Lhasa. So, do we have sort of a... Well, we can't be on a main road, but we can be like here, for instance. That looks like a good candidate, doesn't it? Tibet Steakhouse. But cool, we could also be down here. Decals. Yeah, let's see if we can find decals anywhere. If the directions are right, then let's see what's the age of this footage. Well, that's hard to say. Not all that many squares that sort of would fit that bill, is there? I think I want to go for this one. Even though it doesn't seem quite right. Well, that is definitely misplaced, but yeah, well, and this then. Now we might not be in Lhasa. I knew there were a fair few temples about. Trying to pin a temple here. Look at this place. It's funny how you travel around the world and you wind up with places that kind of look similar. There's an old estate slash. Well, it's an old estate in Norway, dating back to the 1200s ish. That is built exactly like this. The courtyard is smaller. Other than that, and of course the differences in architecture, it's a dead ringer for it. How curious. But yeah, it is a design that makes sense. As for where this is, I have absolutely no idea, but I know there were some temples over here, I believe, over by Ningxi. So let's just say that we are about Ningxi. No, we're not at all. Oh, we were in Lhasa after all. Outside, okay, this is Drepung Monastery. Okay, cool. Yeah, there were a couple of pretty locations. 2 big misses. Other than that, I should be pretty happy. Okay, yeah. Well, we're going to give this one another go. I mean, now that we're here, might as well have a proper look around. So let's make another challenge. And put the link in and have a go again. Oh my word. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, man. The soil erosion here must be ferocious. 6692. Would that be the number of the road? Probably not. Now we're going westwards in a very... that's a dirt road. But we've got quite a lot of vegetation about. So... I'll say about here, maybe. Who knew? Oh, that was a bad miss. Yep, this one is also slightly dislocated, but hey. Oh, that's green. This must be in Lhasa. So... Well... Interesting combination of the old and the new. So... Seem to recall there weren't all that many things up here, except for the Sarah Monastery. Let's say that we are there, maybe. No, not at all. Although I don't think that is the actual location either. So gods know what this was. Okay, round 3. Woo. Woo, 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 woo. And that is a major meeting of rivers. So could we be... Well, except for the lack of this town that's supposed to be over here, this would make... Because there's obviously a river going in that way. We're looking north. So this would be a good spot for this. It could, of course, be up here as well. But I don't see any road bridges. Except for the things down here. This is a walking bridge. No bridges across the river as far as I can see. What other major rivers do we have joining each other? This sort of seems like the obvious place. Okay, so there's a road going down here. Yeah, and it follows the riverbank. We got that system down here, but maybe... No, not here either, although... I mean, we could be all the way up here. That is a possible, actually. Probably not, but I think we might be on top of this. No, not at all. I'm not sure I agree with that. No way that's correct. Nah, not buying that at all. Unless, of course, the compass is... Yeah. Well, it makes sense if the compass is off by 90 degrees towards the east. So yeah, okay. I'll take that as a man. I vaguely remember seeing this. Ooh. Okay, that's a sight you don't see every day. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I have no idea where I am, but we might be somewhere over here by the Saga country, maybe up here possibly. That is some serious peaks up ahead. So let's go with that. No, not at all. Well, that could be right. I don't know. I didn't check the direction. But yeah, if we're looking that way, that could well be it. Okay, final round. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, but I don't think we are in Lhasa either. That's a very distinct lake there. Let's see if we can spot it anywhere. Kind of seems like we are fairly low. So that might mean... Well, Ningxi seems to be in a rather high lying area. This just goes all the way in the wrong direction uphill, doesn't it? Ooh. That's not good. No. Gonna go with Ningxi. Ningxi. That wasn't so bad. Yeah, there's no sign of. So we're in Lulang. Well. Okay, right. So we had a decent first round, and the second round was just balderdash. Are we gonna go for 3? Yes, we're gonna go for 3. Let's do that. Third challenge. Let's see if we can beat the first one. And let's go. Wow. Well, of course, There will be night in Tibet as well. Southeast, I have doubts about that. Let's have a look at Lhasa. Well, we could... be over here on the Beijing Middle Road. And maybe we're here. No, we're not. Because this road ends there. But it could be maybe here. Can we find any names that I can make out? Nah, they're all gonna be in Chinese. So but yeah, I strongly suspect that we might be in this area. Well, could possibly be here. Is there a hotel here? Go something, and then there's a wide building. This is... Well, this could actually... It could be a hospital. Looks a little opulent for it, but it sort of does have the right shape. And although... Nah. Minju. No, not there. So yeah, so we're either here, but I don't think we are, because this road is not wide enough. I like this one somewhat better. Or either of these two. This one doesn't work. Nor does that. Definitely not this one. So yeah, we are left with a precious few options. But you know what, my gut feeling says this one. And whatever we're doing over there, I have no idea. Right. Okay, why are we stopping here? That's a whopping big mountain, that might be it. Or it could also be for that one. Jeez, some mountains here. Oh, these are some real lookers. So, let's say there was somewhere here then. Yeah, look at these things. These are just downright scary. Okay. Well, that's cool. And yeah, when faced with a spot like this, I guess it's fair to go for Lhasa again. Maybe we're on our way up to the Drepung Monastery. Well, how about that? That wasn't so bad. And hello, sir. We've seen you before, haven't we? So that means we're in Lhasa again. And that's an interesting pole. Curious. That's the second time I see a statue decorated like that. The first time I saw one like that was in real life in Sweden. Interesting. So, most likely in Lhasa again. And yeah, that was the one that was so absolutely desperately misplaced, but we are... Looks like we're further uptown, I think. No, we're not there. So this is a bit of a plaza. How about this place? Like there? Yeah, I'm not buying that one. Maybe over here, but not there. Ooh. I was about to say that this is the palace, but that's... Let's see, we're looking north. So if we go to Lhasa again... Could this be... No. So where is this then? Let's see. We're looking at a bridge there. And that is in the northwest. Yeah, the only thing that doesn't work is a lack of a street here, because it definitely looks like a copy of the, what is it called? The Potala Palace. So let's see, if I look north now, there's a bend in the river over there, isn't there? Or an island of sorts. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say that we are right outside the Wencheng Princess Theatre. Could well be. Let's see, does it come in? Yeah, that seems to match the Chinese here. Seems to match what it says under there, although of course the calligraphy is rather different. But it does seem to say that. And we actually got the 5K in our last attempt. How about that? Well, okay. We did get that 5K, and we also got the 22,000 plus score in the final round. Got to be happy with that. Yep. So that's it for Tibet. And I'm glad that you're still with me here on a tiny dot in space, and I hope you'll join me for the next episode when it's up. Until then, bye-bye.